Hi guys, DeMoose out here back with another video. Today we are going to be drawing Tupac and we're going to be using a single black ballpoint pen. And one of the topics I want to talk to you guys about is highlights and shadows, the way it can make a standard image to a realistic looking image. Just by adding highlights and shadows in the right areas can make a drawing look really realistic. And a lot of people focus too much on what colors to use, stuff like that, when that's not the most important part when it comes to realistic drawing. As you can see here, I've added a dark shade to the side of the nose. If I was just to draw the nose and not add the highlight and the shadows and all that stuff, it would just look flat. It wouldn't give it that 3D look, that realistic look. So one thing to do is always remember people, to add in your shadows, your highlights in the right areas to give it that wow factor. So when it comes to black and white, some of you are probably thinking, okay, the color drawings, they're the most bright, they're the most powerful ones. Why do I do black and white drawings? That is simply because if you want to take your pressure and your layering to the next level, if you can't get the basics, like just using one pen and get all these different tones with it, how do you reckon you're gonna apply that with color? You know what I mean? So that's why I always like to go every now and then, take a black and white image, even if it's not black and white, put it into Photoshop, turn it into black and white, and do a black and white drawing. That way I can see where my pressure level's at, and if I've gotten better at it, if I've got more control over the pen over the years. And yeah, that's just why I do it. So I advise you guys to try it out, try doing black and white drawings, get that on point. This is why I always suggest to you guys to get different types of images. That way you challenge yourself and you work on different types of things. If you're just taking a flat image with no highlights, no shadows, just a flat face, and it's got no dimension or no like 3D look to it, it's going to be very difficult once you're hit with like a project or something that's got lighting and darker areas. You won't know how to react to it. So that's why I say always try and do different types of images. Instead of just drawing the face straight, draw it like it is now with the face sideways, you know what I mean, leaning a bit. It really helps. And with the whole darkness and lightness, remember to keep the layers. You have to create layers. You can't just fill it in with black. It's going to look scruffy, it's going to look rough. As you can see what I'm doing right now, I'm building up multiple layers when I'm drawing this. I'm not just doing one layer and then saying that's it. I keep going back to areas, adding more. And yeah, I'm a weird artist like that. I like to work on the beard, then I go back to the nose, then I go back to the eye, and I come back to the beard and things like that. But as you can see, I'm just adding multiple. If you look from the right hand side, it's dark, and then once it's going up towards the left, it's got that lighter value. It's just getting lighter and lighter as you go towards the left. Again, before I started drawing, of course I took my time, analyzed the image, knowing where the light's coming from and what kind of toning stuff and things like that I needed to do. Again, I also have my scrap piece of paper on the side, so when I'm doing a darker area, I'll take the ink off, wipe it. Here with the neck is a bit like what I did with my Killmonger, curvy line from the left to the right, because the neck just naturally has like these type of lines on our necks. You can't cross hatch it because it will just look stupid, because our necks are not like that. So you have to build it up with these type of lines and keep it consistent. Now we're moving on to the what do you call it, the straps. We call it the straps, let's just call it that. This part was pretty fun because I got to do multiple layers. As you can see, I did a base underneath, and then I started adding all the details on top, and then I did another base on top to kind of glue the details with the base. Here again, I'm doing the same thing here, doing all the details on top and then merging it all together. So like I did with the buckle there, it's pretty similar to what I do with like my football t-shirts. When people ask me how do I get the creases and stuff, I add like the basic color. Like say if it was a red shirt, I'll add the red, and then I'll take a black or brown and add a nice soft layer on top of that for where the shadow and everything is, and then I'll apply the color again to create that crease. It's a bit like what I'm doing here with the shirt. As you can see, I'm applying the lines really lightly and everything like that, and then I'm building on top of it and doing my cross hatching and in and outs and all that stuff. But then here is a bit like the previous video that I made of the rose, where I talk about pressure. That is very key when it comes to doing white areas. If your pressure is not on point, it's not gonna look realistic. It's just gonna look scruffy and bad. So again, scrap piece of paper, practice on there, try and get your toning right. When you have that nice right feeling, then take that and apply it to your drawing. That scrap piece of paper, that palette, that paint palette is going to help you a lot, so make sure you guys are using it. It's a very simple tool but very helpful one. Also with the shirt, as you saw, I used the white of the paper to my advantage. A lot of people always ask me like, how did you get the white? Where every time, it's not even most of the times, every time it is the paper itself. So I've learned to apply that to my drawings over the years. It's something that I picked up along the way. I was like, okay, I got the white, might as well use it. Again, hands is another one that's pretty difficult for most people. One thing I've learned about hands is don't take it too seriously, because a lot of people try so hard on hands to add every single bit of detail, and then it ends up ruining it. So hands, don't take it too seriously, just try get the main details in, and yeah, keep it simple on the creases and stuff like that, the knuckles, knowing where to add the shadows and the highlights and things like that. Now we're moving on to that bandana. This was fairly basic. I was just adding in the details again, building up layers to see the solid black areas. I did multiple layers, I didn't just do it once. A lot of this stuff I do go back to after I finish the drawing, just to add more layers and just make it look a whole lot more smooth and realistic, you know what I mean? So you can do that, go back to it and spend a little bit more time on the actual drawing. Well, if you guys have any questions about this drawing, make sure to comment it below. I'll be happy to answer your questions. That's why I'm here to help. And here comes my little surprise for you guys. We're at the end of the drawing. Here it is. As you see, I cut it out, put it on that red, and then boom, I added a bit of gold to the chain. Shout out to my Instagram people for suggesting this on the live stream. And yeah, if you guys have any suggestions, make sure to comment below. Don't forget to comment, share, subscribe to DeMoose Art. If you guys would like any tutorials, they are now available to you guys on Patreon. You can go check it out, link is in the description. And yeah, I will catch you lot in the next video. Peace out.